What's going on, everyone? This is Kyle and Q with another
what's up?
episode of Burn the Ship, Louisiana. We have another special guest today, Mr. Phillip Smart. How you doing,
Thank
sir?
you for having me. I'm doing good.
Welcome.
It's hot,
Absolutely.
but we're doing
It's
it.
a little
Yeah, that's why
toasty.
we put that thermostat on 70.
Yes,
You know,
that's exactly
trying to
why I
get
have a
that
sweatshirt on.
68, Yeah,
It's a
he's
little
complaining.
chilly.
I'm furry, so I had to keep it cool.
I understand.
We're thrilled to have you. You know, we've been talking immensely about Ruston and economic development and all the great things happening. So we're happy to have the man here that's in the driver's seat of all that. And
Mayor's here?
You know, Mayor was here earlier, but the man now here, you know what I mean? And probably Mayor, I don't know. Never know what he's going to do later on. I could see that, you know.
I'm just a backseat driver. That's all I'm saying.
But, you know, probably people are going to recognize you for that. But what we want to know, and kind of the premise of Burn the Ship is,
Yeah.
you know, the story behind the man, Phillip Smart. You know, what inspires you, what drives you to do all the things you do, and even cover some of that, because I know it's a lot.
Right.
And I feel like I'm going to learn a few things just, you know, even after stalking you on Facebook. So, you know.
No, definitely. So I started this journey basically wanting to help others, you know, and that's why I started a nonprofit as well, because I saw that some people were basically not being taken advantage of, but just had no education of financial literacy.
Right.
And so just bringing that to realism and having those people understand, okay, what's going on in the real world, and that you don't have to live in, you know, subsidized housing or government housing all your life, and you can own a home or you can own a vehicle, and it's just not about, you know, these things. And so that's what really, you know, brought me to where I am today, is trying to help those, and then going out there and hunting, you know, businesses and people who really want to make a difference. So about me, I guess, I'm originally from Sinsboro, Louisiana. Went to Arcadia High School, graduated there, and went to Northwestern State University, graduated in pre-law with a concentration in family consumer science and economics. And then I'm currently enrolled at Grambling State University, which I have 2 semesters left. Get my master's in public administration with a concentration in local state government.
Nice.
And then I have 3 children. I have an 11-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 2-year-old. And then my wife is a clerk of court for Billings Parish clerk of court. My mom had me at 12 years old, so she was a child raising a child. My grandparents adopted me, thank the Lord. And I pretty much just learned, and they distilled pretty much what I am today from their values. And that's all I'm doing now, is basically taking what they taught me and trying to teach others and reach others.
Right.
That you can do more things than you put your mind to. Normally the only person that discourages you the most is yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a reason when you go to school or you go to your job, you'll do this for the teacher, you'll do this for your boss. You're not doing it for yourself, because you don't hold yourself accountable. And that's what people have to learn. If I hold myself accountable and set myself these standards and these goals, then I must achieve them and I must do them. If your job tells you to be at work at 7 o'clock, you're going to be there at 7 o'clock. If I tell you, hey, we're going to go work out at 7 o'clock, then you need to be working out at 7 o'clock. When you get off, you need to be studying for whatever class or whatever you push your mind forward and set forth for yourself. And if you're working all these hours for other people, what are you doing for yourself? And that's what I try to educate people on.
Right.
What are you basically learning so you can invest in yourself for a better you for tomorrow.
Right.
And don't just invest in your company, is what it is. And
Yeah.
so that's really why I go so hard and chase after so much things, is because I want better not only for myself but for others and those around me. And I just know that people are capable of that, and there's enough happiness to go around, and that's all it is. I mean, when you look at economics, you look at quality of life and happiness. So anything that you can bring to the city that creates happiness and promotes happiness, and that's what you want here. And so that's what we're trying to do.
That's powerful, yeah.
Absolutely.
The beautiful thing is, Burn the Ship comes in all shapes and sizes. It's not necessarily just starting a business. We've talked to, Miss Chris Barney overcame a tragic, domestic abuse situation. It's getting people out of that kind of the status quo and,
Right.
and what's the norm, and being able to think outside the box a little bit to set themselves up. Not only from a financial perspective, but an emotional or
Right.
Self-awareness perspective. I think that's really, really powerful and cool that you're tailing it on. I mean, just the financial literacy stuff and stuff they should be teaching in high schools.
Right.
That's a great resource to have. So that's awesome that you took that on.
And just like you said, it's the mental aspect too. You know, people getting
man.
over these, you know, domestic abuse or mental abuse, and same thing. So I was sexually molested from the age of 6 to 16.
Wow.
And so that's some things I had to, you know, conquer. And you know, men don't talk about things like
Yeah.
that. You know, if you say, you know, I was sexually molested by a woman, whether they were like, well, what's wrong with that? You know,
Right.
you must be homosexual or something. And there's not a problem, and it's not the reason, but it's how it's occurred, and you're still a child. So having to adapt with that and overcome that, and not be just another statistic,
Sure.
you know, that's one thing is powerful in itself. And then engaging in physical abuse, you know, from a child until, you know, I was 17 or 18. You know,
Wow.
that's just a whole other thing. So overcoming those and saying, you know, I'm not going to be just another statistic. I'm not going to follow in these patterns and these footsteps.
Sure.
I'm going to overcome it. And so basically going out there and letting people know, like, it's okay to talk about this. It's okay to, you know, seek help or, you know, have a counselor. You don't have to have a counselor when times are bad. You can have when times are good.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Just someone to talk to, someone to grieve to. And so having that, especially in my community, which is more of an African-American community, you know, they're pretty much told to, you know, hold that in. Let's just,
Sure.
you know, you're a man, you don't talk about that.
100%.
But just getting people to know it's okay to talk about that, and it's okay to ask for help and reach out for others. So we try to approach that at a young age. So basically we do a lot of mentoring for ages 8 to 13, and just so they'll know, okay, this is how you do this. This is okay to talk about this. This is how you wear a tie. This is etiquette. You know, we're not doing this, or you're not slouching. You know, pretty much just getting them ready to be successful in life.
Right.
And if you teach these habits early on, then they'll know from early on that, you know, this is what's acceptable and this is what's not. Because normally 9 times out of 10 they're missing a father, a man in the house, and it's hard on parents, especially mothers already. So, you know, that's what we try to do as well for the mentorship.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a term that came up with Mayor Walker. That's bold. You know, for one, just to be vulnerable enough and comfortable within yourself to share something like that. You know, that's powerful. So I kind of want to dive in. How did you overcome? Like, what were a couple things that were very pivotal in you overcoming, you know, that kind of an experience and getting yourself into a state to where, you know, hey, you know, you kind of addressed it, I guess, is
Right. I would say, and I hate to bring religion into it, but I mean, it was definitely a God thing. You know,
Right.
on my point, it was a higher belief. It was something I was believing in, because there was no way that, you know, I was here and put on this earth just for this abuse to go on. I wasn't meant for a higher calling. So I had to, you know, dig deep within and just decide, okay, am I going to live in the pits and just, you know, be like this, or I'm going to actually go out there and do that. So there's a quote I normally use: there's no place for the living in the land of the dead. So I really try to go out there and put my best foot forward. No matter what I'm doing, I'm trying to do my best at it. No matter if it's picking up trash or baling hay or doing economics. Whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to do my best. That way people recognize it. You never realize who's watching you. And that's what happened at a young age. You know, I was doing my best and people started to look. And I wasn't even going to go to college, but someone was watching me work. And they were like, hey, you need to go to college. And so they helped me get to college, and I went to college, and out of that, somebody else was watching me. And so that's why I'm saying you never know who eyes are on you.
100%.
So always do your best. You know, I was over in Minden, you know, doing the best I could with economic development. I didn't know Mr. Mayor Walker was watching me, you know. So whenever you get that call, you're like, you know, the city of Ruston wants to talk to you. You know, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
You know,
I love that.
So
Yeah.
just always striving with the best foot forward. And I knew that, like, you going back to, you know, what made me change is I was looking at my surroundings. You know, I was looking at my mother was, you know, in her mid-30s, never owned a home, never owned her own car, and didn't really have anything to, you know, claim that was hers. And I didn't want to be like that. No offense to my mom, I love her to death, but I just didn't want to do that.
Right.
So I wanted to make, you know, a name for me and leave a legacy for my kids and my family. And so, okay, I started watching what did I need to do. So these are the people who are successful, and I'm just going to follow their routes.
Sure.
We're not going to have the same book because I have to, of course, create my own book. But I'm definitely going to look at the guidelines. You know, I didn't write the book, but I read it,
100%.
and so that's what I try to go off of.
That's powerful.
Absolutely. You know, I'll say this, and it is a God thing, and breaking that devil's lie
Right.
is important, right? Because with God and His will and purpose, you can do all things. So,
Exactly
and then
right.
one big critical component that we try to touch on is the mental health aspect, right?
big time.
Because we have partners and friends that work with the Human Service Authority, right? So they had kind of that Rise Above Stigma campaign, and it's like, why are we holding back, hiding these feelings when truthfully the healthy thing is, and through the Bible says, confess one another and have these conversations to build you up. Because at the end of the day, when you're running a business, how many lives depend on you?
You're right.
You know what I mean? Kyle has his own business. How many people, if Kyle has a mental breakdown,
Right.
how many people now don't get fed because he's out?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Same thing with me. And if something happens to me, how many people depending on me go down when I need to be as strong as I can for those others? So I'm glad that you know, not only for your personal journey, but being an advocate for that, because that's one thing that we definitely bring on this platform. It's an important part of burning the ship, because that mental jump of leaving it all behind and taking that risk,
It's difficult.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's definitely worth it.
100%. I'll even, mine wasn't a child. This was probably 5-6 years ago. I got to the point to where, I almost committed suicide. And, something I'm very vocal about, because it was a ship I had to burn to get to that point. And it's probably, definitely that, whether it's depression, anxiety, still stuff that needs to be addressed. But in a weird way, I look back and I'm very grateful.
Right.
This is going to sound really weird, that I experienced that. Because this was before I started the entrepreneurial world. And you got to have thick skin, at the end of the day. And I don't know that I could have, gone through the stuff I've gone through. The primary, the downs, the ups are easy to deal with.
Right.
But man, those struggles, I don't know that I would have had, thick enough skin to withstand it. Had I not gone through that ultimate low and just really kind of picked myself apart and took that leap forward internally, that way, just like you said, I've got, my people that rely on me to manage and keep the business going so they can put food on the table, so that's powerful, man.
Right. And sometimes we wonder, like, okay, why did I have to deal with all this? And like you just said, there's a reason you had a test, and that's for your testimony. So after you deal with all that, now you can, if God gave you $1 million now, you would, just spend it like you wanted to. But if He gives you a little at a time, you learn how to manage it, you'll have more money in the end. So there's a reason He only put so much on you.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just enough where you became successful at what you're doing, and you're helping other families to see right now. So it's a good reason.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. So tell us some of your background in business. I know from the nonprofit, but you do some other things, don't you? I know we talk about marketing and some other stuff.
So I have my own Royal Consulting and Marketing. So it's a private consulting firm. Right now we do a lot of economic development for cities and parishes, but we do dabble into marketing, especially just online content creation and things of that nature. We started doing more with Snapchat and Instagram, of course, with social media accounts.
Right.
And then I'm co-owner of my wife's company. It's called P.S. I Love You, which is just a craft shop. She does laser printing, engraving, and stuff of that nature. And then, of course, finishing up my real estate license right now. So trying to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it. All kinds of stuff going on.
It's funny because you're a lot in the sense of, and we've all been in this situation of and I kind of want to touch on it because it's something a hot topic. Just because you don't own your own business, say you're working for somebody, doesn't stop you from being entrepreneurial.
Right.
No. You know what I mean? You can be an entrepreneurial, working for somebody, doing something entrepreneurial mindset to help grow that company. And still have other stuff, right? I have a full-time job at Origin Bank, but then also part owner in a marketing company and billboards and vacation rentals, but I still have a W-2. But inside that portion, they allow me to do this kind of stuff, which is very entrepreneurial, and run an entrepreneur center. You know what I mean? So just because your passion doesn't mean you just have to go out on your own. You can still use, like I'm sure, like in your mind is, using certain platforms to help grow the brand and do other things that kind of all work together. Yeah.
I call it regionalism.
Right.
Just building those partnerships and those networking. That's so important, which people just need to realize. It doesn't have to have your name on it to be successful or for you to take, learn a lesson from it. like you just said, you can work for someone else, and there'll be so many lessons distilled in you. So whenever you are ready to take the entrepreneurship in that step, then you are ready. Like, hey, this is what I learned. Learn from other people's mistakes before you start making your own. That's the key.
Yeah, perfect your craft.
I was actually gonna. You hit the nail on the head. A thought popped in my head right when you said that, and it's like when I was an engineer at Chevron, before I quit and burned my ship, one of my ships, I guess, one of my in the fleet.
Right.
I learned probably towards the last 2 years is really when I started to pay attention to the detail of business planning and really looking at how the financials were broken down and how do we, having conversations about what levers can we pull to optimize our bottom line or maximize the bottom line and even down to the safety principles and how the management side of things was saying, when you are attentive and you're able to kind of, you hear coaches talk about in athletics, I've learned from, these 5 guys and I took little pieces of them and then kind of built my own. It's the same kind of concept.
Right.
I cherry pick some stuff that I really saw value in and then put my own little twist on it and that's how I've just kind of run the show and I'm still learning,
Right.
So that's again, kind of going, when you said the entrepreneurial versus entrepreneur, it can apply in so many different aspects of life. So
I
it's
agree
pretty
with
cool
that.
that you brought that to the table.
Yeah.
So what do you think your experience in that entrepreneurial space has helped benefit you in your role now as economic director?
Definitely when it comes to small businesses. So, them taking that first step is scary, or them, leaving, like you said, burning their ship and, this is what I'm going to do. When they finally make that decision, a lot of things happen fast and they don't have time to wait because bills still come and they still want their money. So basically just helping them because I've experienced, I went through it, helping them make sure they're taking the right steps and basically, being an incubator, but not an incubator. So basically helping them set up everything and, communicate well. Then even from the quality of life, having that relationship with your citizens, knowing what they want, knowing what can enhance the quality of life in the area, and then going after it. And just basically trying to do everything you can to make sure that, they locate here.
Right.
That's pretty much what I would say.
Absolutely. Well, I know from a catalyst standpoint, we're appreciative of what you do, and it's good for us as we've expanded into Ruston, where if we have a small company that using some workspace and they're ready to grow, I've got somebody that I can just hand them off to and know they're in good hands. I don't have to worry about, well, let me try to help you find a place. It's like, hey, I got a guy.
Definitely.
So we appreciate all you do.
Right, and that's what we try to do, and we appreciate y'all because, like you said, it's pretty much like stepping stones. So, hey, we're going to step here and, get on the ground and get the ball rolling. And then, like you said, when they outgrow this force, okay, we need another stepping stone.
Right.
And that's when they could use the city or the parish so they can, start growing. And like I said, Mayor Walker's a great mayor, and his administration has been very successful. And he doesn't just cater to the city of Ruston; it's all of Lincoln Parish.
Right.
So if we can't find a place in the city of Ruston, well, we're still going to find a place in Lincoln Parish. So, we always have those options, and that's what that's good to have. A lot of mayors wouldn't do that if it's not going to benefit them directly.
Right.
They could care less.
We talked to them earlier, and that's one of the things. Even when we started with Burn the Ship, we were like, do we do Burn the Ship Ruston? And I was like, we both kind of like, our footprint is so much bigger than Louisiana. Even I was like, well, we don't want to be like burn. Because we have a good friend, and we call it a big brother, big brother, Burn the Ship Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I was like, we can't be Burn the Ship South, but we'll start with Louisiana, see where it goes, because we got all kind of contacts. But the big thing was also from a mindset, that regional mindset.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have contacts in Monroe, and that's what we were talking about. Ronnie said I appreciated Ruston now having that mindset where Ronnie's having meetings with Friday Ellis. You know what I mean? And other mayors just say, hey, this ain't that long of a drive, and that a big company that might land in Calhoun could provide jobs to both. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily like just because that one city got it, everybody else ain't going to get a piece of the pie. Like that pie can spread out. So
Exactly.
I'm thankful that y'all's whole administration have that regional mindset.
Yeah, that's cool. And another thing, with Catalyst and kind of what we're doing too. When you sitting down with Mayor Walker, right? Especially when it comes to politics, well, there's going to be two sides of the table, right? You know, it's just the way it works. But I think when you're able to sit down and I don't know how many times he's kind of opened up about some of his background or whatever, but when you kind of make it personable, you're listening to the person, not the politician. You know, I think that's where I think I love being able to be just a fly on the wall to sort of open that up and maybe bridge some of those disconnects. You know, I'm just using that as an example, or somebody, you know, a restaurant in Farmerville that maybe people haven't heard of, and simply just be a platform to say, oh, they got a really cool story. I'm gonna go try the burger. You know, there's burger places everywhere. Just little stuff like that. So that's where the catalyst kind of combination with what we have going on, and of course with the city entities, it's sort of just like a really cool kind of network of like-minded, you know, visions. So, man, it's been cool to just talk to people, you know what I mean? Lay it all out there.
And I love that they're all on one mindset, one accord, and I believe that's why the mayor and, of course, all the city councils were unopposed, because they're doing a great job.
100%.
And they really want Ruston to grow. They want Lincoln Parish to grow. And so no one can argue with that. So, I mean, if you ran against them, it's like, hey, I don't want them to grow this fast. I mean, that could be your only opinion right there. But they're doing a great job, and I love working for them, and I love working for the citizens of Ruston. I mean, everybody is, you know, forward-thinking and forward-minded. You know, you like you say, you just got to grow tough skin because of Ruston rants. But other than that, other than that, you're pretty good.
I want to know how many times somebody's made a comment about ground gets broken. It's a Mexican restaurant.
Right now, I see nothing but Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is cut. You know, they're just wearing it out right now. You know.
I do. Have y'all had conversations about that? Because I'm always curious. Because you think about even the I-10 corridor. You got them on both sides of Louisiana. Is it sort of like the way the Louisiana tax?
It's the way the Louisiana tax bracket's set up that Buc-ee's will not consider Louisiana at this time.
Interesting. I love Buc-ee's.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, everybody does.
I don't need gas at all. I'm stopping.
Tell them Ruston would be nicer, right in the middle. You know, you're catching all the up and down, left or right. You got the main arteries.
They tried South Louisiana one time, and you know they wouldn't get the tax bracket right for them, and they haven't tried again. So,
well, are there any golden nuggets you can give us here that you know, like we talked. Ryan told us a little bit of the Taco Bandito, I think, looking, and then you got some
Taco Bandino,
stuff.
you got the Panda Express,
you
got the hotel going out to Sports Complex, you got
that's new.
Quick Trip,
got that one,
you got Old Navy, you got.
Are we gonna get any men's clothing store? Because let me tell you this, Coop, who's coming on next, Darius Cooper with Kick Thrones. I got my shoes covered, but I don't have any other place.
Man, them online sales are killing people. The e-commerce.
Oh, I know. But see, I'm the kind of guy that don't want to trust the size.
Me too.
Because I'm shaped like a weird object. You know what I mean? Every pant's gonna fit different. Every shirt, you know. So it's like I need. You know, there's even in Monroe, I don't even know a men's clothing store. You know.
Just with the cost of the land and, you know, then constructing things, they're so expensive. You know, then people want to retire off leasing a building to you. It's difficult right now. So, I mean, we can try, but, you know, we're working on some things, more of a sporting goods side, which would have some men's clothes, but, you know, as a, you know, like a men's boutique, no, there's nothing really, unless I get some type of mom and pop store that want to start, you know, I'd definitely love to help them. I got a lot of things that, of course, I can't mention, but, you know, a lot of great things that are happening that are coming down the pipeline that, you know, we can't wait to announce. You know, really getting a stronger bond with Grambling State University in our partnership. You know, I'm really going to do some big things with them, so I'm excited.
Can you end this podcast with one of those, I feel like you can
I need a job at the end of the day, remember this.
Yeah, because I think you're in a fraternity, aren't you?
I'm in 2 fraternities.
You got any?
Are you really?
Yeah, so I'm a Pike and I'm an Alpha Phi Alpha.
Oh, okay. Pike at
Northwestern.
Oh, Northwestern. Okay, gotcha.
Which I'm hometown Natchitoches guy.
Yeah.
So that's where all my family's from. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very cool. Boy, Pikes were rowdy at Ole Miss.
They weren't that rowdy at Northwestern.
No.
But, you know, we started that chapter down there, so that was a little different.
Trailblazer. See, everything. I'm excited about this one. My man, he's an onion. We just keep peeling back, you know.
I don't know anything exciting. Do y'all know about the RV park going behind the sports complex?
No.
So are they going to have any extra thing there, like a splash pad or any kind of?
That is in the works. So we are trying to have some type of water
Okay.
feature out there, just so the kids who aren't playing sports, the parents who are waiting on stuff, they can't have their kids out there. We're still working with some developers to pique some interest and make sure we get some things done. But we definitely would love to make that a highlight and more of a destination place. So you're not just coming to play basketball or baseball, softball, soccer, or whatever.
Right.
You're actually just going out there to have fun.
Right.
You can go camp and then have a little fun in the water.
Nice.
What's the hotel going over there?
They haven't picked a name yet.
Oh, okay.
So
That's all. That'd be.
you got, of course, you got to do all these franchise stuff.
of course.
and everything.
Right.
So they haven't agreed on one yet. But
Nice.
but hopefully within a year we'll start seeing some development on it.
Very cool.
So
Nice.
then trying to get some more developed on the interstate, and then of course, trying to work on another off ramp on the Rough Edge Road.
Right.
So that way we'll have 5 exits coming in the city of Ruston.
Exciting things happening.
That's awesome.
But it's time and process.
That's
all.
right.
Time and patience. Let's say that.
Yeah. That's an important.
Economic development's a marathon, not a sprint. Remember, that's the only thing
I can
say.
never get that right. Every time
It's a sprint, not a race.
it's not a race, it's a marathon. He's like, I'm pretty sure it's not what it is. I'm like, another drink. That's why I quit drinking, because I was like, you know what, Lord, it's time to make a change. So down 25 pounds. So
That's right. Another ship burning.
Yep.
So, well, cool, man. We'll let you get back to the grind. Like I said, we appreciate you taking the time to come chop it up and
we'll have to do this like quarterly.
I was gonna say, we'll have to,
absolutely.
Give y'all some updates.
Absolutely count on it. And anything, you can use this as a platform, and
For sure.
we release marketing clips so y'all can reshare them and use them on y'all's page. So
Definitely. Yeah, y'all just let us know when y'all do the mayors and stuff, and I'll make sure the IT share it. 'Cause
Okay.
That will always be a good one. People love hearing the mayor talk. So.
Yeah, that was a good one too. Cool. Well, in the meantime, we'll get after it, and we'll catch you guys on the flip side.